Hi everyone! This is a quick tutorial for your Chapter 1 data exercise. This is the first week that you're asked to do this activity, and it's due Friday night. So let's get started. I'll go in Chapter 1 folder. A quick heads up, if you're seeing this and you're not sure how to navigate, this is what the module screen will look like, and then you can hit this little arrow to move the table of contents from up here to down there, and then you can look at it by clicking that button there. This makes it bigger, and then you can see what's next by going through this arrow. So the page 2 of 6 corresponds to the table of contents here. And apologies that I didn't point this out sooner. It's a quirk in Blackboard that can be difficult to understand. So, as you can see, our in-class materials are at the top, followed by your Chapter 1 flashcards with all the key concepts. You click here to launch. I highly recommend using this feature. The flashcards correspond to the inquisitive activity and the quiz and the data exercise. And here it only includes 12 terms, so it really gets at these core concepts and terms. So let's go back over to Blackboard. So once you're done with the flashcards, we have a Council on Foreign Relations module to complete for Friday, and since I'm here, I'll show you how to navigate this quickly. The one that I picked for this week, and you can see by going back over to Blackboard, is on globalization. So when you're on here, World 101, scroll down here and select globalization. We'll be using some of the others throughout the semester. These modules have been built for access for free, and they're developed by Council on Foreign Relations fellows. They're not long, and they focus on the modern concepts. So in other words, here you'll learn about modern globalization. Globalization is one of those contested concepts that people have different ideas about, as you'll discover in class this week. So you start the module by watching this video, and then when you click on the video, it brings you to the screen with everything on the right that you're asked to do. So you watch this quick video, and then everything on the left shows you how to go through the module. So you'd watch the video, you'd scroll down, and then that's it. And you'd go to the next one by clicking here, and you can see it brings you through each one of these headings. So here we're on globalization and the Great Recession, and that's the second one. This has a mix of quantitative data, qualitative data. There aren't that many videos, and if they are here, they're less than 4 minutes. So this is a really good way to learn about, again, modern concepts here. So as you're going through this, I do want you to complete it. Watch the videos, read, look at what the charts are all about, and then go ahead and open the quiz that corresponds to this module. So I'm not going to open it, and I tell you here, the test has a limit of 1 hour. You do have up to 2 attempts, just so that if it crashes, you can just open it again. But it is open, so I want you to go through the module and then open the quiz, keeping the module open, and then you're going to start, and the questions correspond to each one of the module sections. So I'm asking you to go back to the module, recall information, and then do things with some of the charts that are in the module. It should be pretty straightforward. If there's anything tricky, it's unintentional. So if you do need to do a second attempt, go for it. So you've got 2 attempts, however you want to use them. So the goal is to learn, not for you to be quizzed. And then finally, the Chapter 1 data exercise. So I say in the description here that it's an exercise and not a traditional quiz. It's just easier to set it up as a quiz. You have no time limit, and you also have 2 attempts, again, in case it closes out by accident. But since there is no time limit, you keep it open until you're done, and then there you go. And you can use the second attempt if you'd like. So you'd click on here to launch, and then I'll go ahead and open it and show you what it's all about. So the first question you can see asks you to do something. So the first thing that I'm asking you to do is to go to this country report link, and I tell you to begin, click on the link, and then I give you very specific instructions for how to use these data sources. So I will click on here, and then I tell you to locate the countries listed below, and that means the countries in the question, and then you'd click on the country report to get its democracy score from the most recent year. So I'm asking you in this question to match each country below to its appropriate democracy score. And then all of these instructions tell you how to use the data set to get that figure. And then I give you some more information here to learn about what the democracy score is. So let's start out and we'll go ahead and look for Brazil together. So I click on here, and then I have all these country reports, and then here's where you want to start utilizing your Command or Control F to find something on the page. So I'll use Command F because I'm on a Mac, and then I'd type in Brazil, and there I go. And then I'd click on Brazil to get over to the Brazil's country report. And here it's for 2010. This is a massive data set. They're updating now, but we're working with this data that's a little old. So I want you to go over here and look under the most recent year. That's the question for the most recent year. And then that's 2010. And then I have polity, democracy, autocracy. So Brazil had a score of 8 in 2010. So I would go over here and select I for 8. So, and I tell you here, like, you can, if there is more than one country with an 8, you would just select I again, and then you would hit enter. So that's all I'm asking you to do for question 1. Question 2, you're asked to use the World Bank indicators. I'll show you a couple of quirks about this. So you would click over here to the link, and this is the giant active database for all data that the World Bank gathers using its own or other resources. And here's where the instructions are going to be really important. So in the primary search bar, type the letters GDP, and then select GDP current US dollars. I'm taking some time to show you this one because we'll be using the World Bank data source quite often. So here I would just click GDP, and there we go. It will not always be the first one at the top, so you can see here all the different ways that GDP is measured. So I'd click here, and it would bring me to a world map, and then I'll scroll down. This blue bar is going to end up being important. So for some questions, I may ask you 2016. I may ask you about 1993. So pay attention to the year, and then you'd scroll down here. So the 1993 that I have my blue bar on would now correspond to this column here for 1993. And then to get a rank order, I would click here on 1993, and it would go up and down. So in 1993, Tuvalu had the least amount of wealth. And then I'd click the other way, and the United States was the most wealthy country, followed by Japan, Germany, France, Italy. And then I can move this up to 2016, and it should stay ranked. So you can kind of play around with this, and I'd encourage you to think about using the World Bank data source for other projects too. It's well respected, most of the data is valid and reliable, and you can get up-to-date information on countries. So let me pop on over here. I have you use that for a lot of these questions, and I think that's it for this first one. I wanted to make sure that you know how to use this. Question 7 can be a little complicated, so I want to go over this really quickly. I'm asking you to use an interactive database of conflicts that are geocoded. So I tell you here, click on this database, and if it's a geocoded data, you're going to see a map just like this, where you can zoom in and out and look at information. It gives me here, I'm on the furthest out, And then I'd go over here to zoom in to a particular area. So I will tell you usually what I want you to do on a geocoded map. And here I tell you to zoom in and out, and then zoom out to the highest point possible, and then select the question that you think accurately describes the data. Finally, the CIA Fact Book is a basic resource for most of the countries in the world, and I'm asking you here to look for China. So real economic growth from 2016, you'd use the World Fact Book, and you go, oh, what do I do here? You go over here to the select a country to view, find China, and then you do have to sift through a little bit, but you can see here's all about China, and then you can guess which tab this one might be. Hint, hint, it's about the economy. I'll use this database later as well, but you can read through here to find out information to help you answer this question. And then here, I give you, you can see a graph, and I'm not running Flash, so if it does this, just hit cancel and go over here to this link. So depending on what browser you have, the graph may not appear, but I will always give you the link to click here and then go out, and it's going to be the same graph. So it's embedded and then provided to you as a link, and then you would look here to answer these questions. And I do the same thing here. And here's your graph. So that's it. This was in more detail than I will normally give, but I think it's important to show you how to use all of these tools. And again, these are live data tools used by researchers in the field. So good luck.